the traditional caretakers of the lands and waters of this campus. Today's service is led by Ginger Fury in place of the Reverend Dr. Omega Burkhart. And in case, a hand for Pastor Ginger. And in case you're worried about our Omega, she is okay, but she came back from Minneapolis with more than she left and is feeling unwell and recovering at home. So we all send her our best wishes, and thank you, Ginger, for stepping in her place. Music is led today by Dr. Zenaida Robles with Wells Lang. And please take a moment to silence your devices as we begin our service. There's nothing like your Sherwood Forest ringtone in the middle of the homily. Families with young children are always welcome in the sanctuary, and there's an additional play area for the very youngest in our narthex. And for adults and older youth who don't need assistance, there's a quiet table for doodling and drawing over here next to the organ, or close to the organ. So I have two announcements and then a special reminder. Today is Dining for Dollars bidding. So be sure and join us after the service in Ross Chapel to bid on the upcoming events to support our church. Today is the only day to bid. So make sure you check it out. There are events for all tastes and all pocketbooks, and there's a raffle if you want to put in bids after the bidding's done. Never mind. And there's delicious snacks from Porto's and mimosas, alcoholic and non-alcoholic mimosas. So come for the food and stay to bid. Some of you might have taken OWL or taught OWL or be aware of what it is. If you're not familiar, OWL stands for Our Whole Lives, and it is a comprehensive, inclusive, lifespan sexuality education course offered here at Neighborhood. If you didn't take it, we all wish we'd had it when we were kids. For 8th graders, there are 16 sessions that cover topics from puberty to media messaging. The session on Sunday, February 8th, focuses on gender identity, expression, roles, and stereotypes. We would like to invite community and church members across the spectrum of gender identities to come and talk with students. We'll provide sample questions before February 8th. So if you're interested in participating, reach out to Elle Moss at emoss@neighborhood.org or catch her here. Enrollment for winter camp at the Bentonville Pines is underway. Madeline Villanueva is here to give us some more information.
Good morning. My name is Madeline Villeneuve, and I'm on our winter camp committee. I've been going to camp since I was 3, and my first time at our family winter camp, I remember lots of snow. Other years, when I've gone to family winter camp, there hasn't been as much snow, but there's always so many fun activities for everyone. My favorite thing when I was younger was always to explore the forest, and there was lots of rock forts to play in, which I would often spend lots of time in. Other good memories I have are having hot chocolate in the lodge and playing so many different card games. There's usually a movie night and a walk to Jenks Lake, which is always really fun. I try to go to camp as much as I can. I've gone to elementary camp, middle school camp, and senior high camp as campers, and last year I became a counselor for elementary camp, and this year I did winter camp staff. This year, our neighborhood family camp will have a couple new activities. One of them being a duck hunt. And I have some examples here. So we're gonna hide some plastic and resin ducks around camp, and people can collect them, and it's just gonna be really fun. So I hope everyone gets to come to winter camp and gets to collect some ducks. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Madeline, and apologies for mispronouncing Villeneuve. Our order of service this morning is available as a link in the Sunday email and online by scanning the QR code on the back of your hymnal with your phone camera. Again, welcome to Neighborhood Church, an inclusive faith community connected by love, spirit, and service. Amen.
we gather this morning as a people at a crossroads, where the crossroads have to meet us in a way that are unexpected, confusing, and strange, where we have not ourselves entirely chosen our paths, rather our paths have chosen us as often as we have made decisions about our direction and destination. We are a people gathered, and that means something this morning. We make a choice to be together because we are made stronger and more resilient and better equipped to move into futures that are both exciting and scary. As a people gathered, we make a commitment to support one another, to support the greater good of spirit that this community embodies in our world. And this commitment takes many shapes and many contours, some commitments of the heart, others of hands of good work, and yet others in the form of giving that supports our shared endeavors. Today, we gather to explore this commitment, to understand how it is one of sacred promise. Our chalice lighting this morning comes from Reverend David Breeden. We gather into this circle. We gather into this circle of care, to dream, to envision, to embody, and to achieve the compassion that we dream, the justice we envision, the dignity of each in an ever-growing circle of love and justice. Spirit of community, source of renewal. Some days our hearts beat with fire, plan making, chanting, moving, and imagining. Other days, the spark barely flickers. The work seems endless, but we are not. Help us to honor this cycle, the surge, the setback, the pause. Teach us to rest without guilt, to act without self-righteousness, to remember that resistance too lives in laughter, in tenderness, in song. May this gathering here refill what the world drains, so we can return again to the work, still imperfect, still alive, and still willing.
Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, number 1046, Shall We Gather at the River?
Shall we gather at the river, where our Soon we'll reach the shining river. Soon our pilgrimage will cease. Soon our happy hearts will quiver with the melody of peace. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of
Hello, my name is Al Moss, and I'm the Director of Lifespan Faith Engagement here at Neighborhood UU Church. A visual description of me is that I am a trans non-binary person. I use they, them pronouns, and I am in my 40s, and I have brown hair, and I wear glasses. I would like to invite the children and youth to come up for a story. Our book this morning is called, Should I Share My Ice Cream? What do you think? Would you share your ice cream? No? You do? Ice cream. Get your cold ice cream for a hot day. Oh boy, ice cream. One ice cream, please. Here you go. Oh boy, I love ice cream. Wait, Piggy loves ice cream too. Piggy is my best friend. Should I share my ice cream with her? Should I share my awesome, yummy, sweet, super, great, tasty, nice, cool ice cream? It's a difficult question, huh? Maybe Piggy does not like this flavor. Sharing a flavor Piggy does not like would be wrong. I will eat the ice cream. They're opening their mouth. Wait, Piggy will like this flavor. It is very yummy. I will share my ice cream. It will not be easy. Hey, Piggy is not here. She does not know that I have ice cream. I will eat the ice cream. Where is Piggy? What if she is sad somewhere? I must find her. Don't let it melt. When I do, I will say, would you like some of my ice cream? Then she will say, thank you. That would cheer me up. Then I will give her my ice cream to share. Yum. Then my best friend will be happy. I will do it. I will share my ice cream. Ice cream? It's dropped on the floor. Oh no. No! Just now Piggy cannot have any of my ice cream. It's true. Now I cannot have any of my ice cream. Oh, we're having lots of logistical conversations up here. We're trying to figure out how we could eat the ice cream, even though it's fallen. So this elephant person is, his name is Gerald. Okay, so Gerald is sitting on the floor, and he says, I blew it. Oh, somebody is coming. Who's coming? This is Piggy saying, you look sad. Would you like some of my ice cream? Thank you. That would cheer me up, says Gerald. Yum. That was not my plan. Oh well, this works too. So sometimes we get to share with other people, and sometimes they share with us, and sometimes as a community we share together. And ice cream is always wonderful, right? I am not promising ice cream today. This is just a book about ice cream. All right. Would you please join me in singing all the kids and youth out?
I had a ringside seat to watch those kids. Each Sunday, our congregation dedicates 100% of its contributions to a 501c3 organization or a neighborhood church social justice group. You can donate in one of two ways. You can use your cell phone to donate by texting the number on the screen. There it is. Or if you'd prefer to donate in person, you can put your donation in one of the designated boxes during the music, during the service. So there's one here, there's one in back, and there's one in the narthex. And you can get up anytime during the music to do that. And if there's somebody around you who could use the assistance, please offer to help them. You can also make a payment toward your pledge or contribute to church operations, but if you're doing that, make a note in the subject line or use an envelope available at the donation boxes. So they're two separate things. This week, our gifts will support Art Equity. Here with more information is Carmen Morgan, founder and executive director.
It's going to be so hard to follow the ice cream story. I was a little, I had almost forgotten. Oh, I'm going to have to go up and speak now. It's so nice to be back. Thank you for letting me come back. I feel like I'm making friends with you all now. My name is Carmen Morgan. I'm the founder and executive director of Art Equity. Last week, I shared that Art Equity works at the intersection of art and activism. And more specifically, we provide tools, resources, training, leadership development, coaching, convenings for individual artists and also arts organizations. We see art as a tool for social change. And we feel strongly that artists are some of the most effective leaders and activists. So when I was here last week, I described a few of our programs, and more information about our work is on our website, and there's also a one-page sheet that's going to be available on the information table outside. Thanks again, Eugene. Eugene was the person doing all the logisticals behind the scene, and in fact, introduced me to Neighborhood Church, even though I've lived in Pasadena for over 50 years and I live 6 minutes away. So here I am, and I really am going to be back. Listen, as you know, I wanted to share something different this week. As you all know, it's been really challenging. It's been a very challenging time for many institutions and many organizations. And in an effort to explore some successful transformational leadership models, Art Equity hosted a cross-sector convening last October. And we brought leaders together from across social justice and arts organizations throughout the U.S. to talk about the leadership strategies and approaches that they were using. And I thought I would just share 4 key takeaways from that convening with you today, and I'll be very brief. By the way, of those organizations that we brought together, one of them was doing community organizing on the ground, doing Know Your Rights campaigns. Another one was a co-defendant in a civil rights lawsuit against the current administration. And another one was a funder, a racial justice funder, who was providing direct resources to folks who had the most acute needs. So these were folks that were not that just, doing plays is not important, but they were doing art and activism. So I wanted to share these 4 takeaways from that convening. There was about 15 of us together, about 10 organizations represented, and some of what I'm going to share is not going to be new to you. I'm sure these are strategies that you all are using here even. The first was just coalitions and not isolations. Coalitions to guard against isolation. We said this is not a moment for us to be isolated. It's a moment for deep collaboration, cross-sector collaboration, and in fact, it's not even something that's just nice to have. Right now, it's actually our oxygen. The other was that we recognized that we needed to build in what we called backbone capacity. Not just the work that we were doing, the programming, the advocacy, and not just having strong organizational infrastructures, but that we needed to be resourced and to spend as much time and energy on wellness practices as well as our programming. So we see backbone capacity as being prepared for the long haul in terms of our spiritual reserves and our emotional reserves. We cannot afford to be burnt out. The other was we felt the need to just reclaim our narratives. We're not going to accept the frames that are talking about our communities. We're having to lead with our lived experiences and with evidence, and also to lead with our values, because the ways in which many of our communities are being depicted are not our realities. And last but not least, we want to work locally and we want to be linked. We want to deepen our local commitments and strengthen that connective tissue across these regions and hopefully create a really strong national network. So that's what we talked about. And that's what these cultural arts organizations are doing and thinking, and I thought I would share that with you all today, and I suspect it's probably not unfamiliar. And then I just wanted to close out with Sherilyn Eiffel's quote. This has really been guiding me throughout this time. The first thing she wrote after the election was, she said, folks, this is planting season. We're gonna have to go deep, deep, deep and connect to our values and our practices for the harvest to come. I'll leave you with that. Thank you.
And thank you for giving generously.
Imani is the last principle of Kwanzaa. It means faith.
I'm going to give you this morning 4 characteristics of success. And we'll talk about success for what in just a minute. Number 1, maintaining discipline and resilience. 2, maintaining and eliciting loyalty among key pillars. 3, expanding the repertoire of tactics. 4, large, diverse participation and sustained momentum. When preparing for today's service on generosity and giving, these 4 characteristics of a successful, healthy, and vibrant group were on my mind. 1, a church is only as successful as its members' discipline to support it. A church is only as successful as its members' discipline to support it. If you financially support your church, for example, with a planned pledge amount each month, that is disciplined and a resilient strategy because it allows a church to plan for the future. 2, if longtime supporters of a church, either through financial or volunteer support, in other words, key pillars, continue to support and to encourage others to support, we will continue to have success. 3, we have to expand the repertoire of tactics for engaging in conversation and community for any of this to work. But it is a chicken and an egg proposition. To expand the repertoire also is about sustaining the ability to expand rather than to stay still and shrink. In other words, expansion for expansion's sake won't work if there isn't a will for vibrancy. Then there isn't a will for expansion. And maybe this is most important, it takes a large, diverse population to support and sustain any kind of momentum for a healthy group to function. It can't be a handful. It can't only be those with institutional power. It must be all of us. Confession time. When I was working on the topics for January's sermons on resistance, I actually thought they would be a bit happier. I created these titles and blurbs to tell a story about how we are together in this world and how we've got each other's back and how exciting and joyful that is. Hence the title of this sermon from a popular song a few decades ago, If I Had $1 Million. Well, as it turns out, that's about how much we need each year to maintain our operating budget, including rentals and such. How convenient. Today's service is about generosity and giving as we prepare to launch into a time of year when we talk a lot about church finances, membership, and commitment. And yes, we do want this to be a celebration. And we also have to recognize that we are in a precarious time in our world when being in community is taking on a whole new meaning. Being in a successful, healthy community that promotes healing in our world means something very real. It is important. As many of you know, I returned last night from several days in Minneapolis, where a vibrant community of people is under siege and leveraging everything they have to defy and resist a paragovernmental military forces that are attacking them. Those 4 characteristics that I listed at the beginning of this, they aren't for financially sustaining congregations. They are characteristics of a group that is successfully fighting authoritarianism. They are successful characteristics of a pro-democracy campaign. And here they are again. Maintaining discipline and resilience. Maintaining and eliciting loyalty among key pillars. Expanding the repertoire of tactics. Large, diverse populations and sustained momentum. They are a short summary of the work that Erica Chenoweth presents in a book entitled Why Civil Resistance Works. We'll be talking more about this book in the coming weeks, but for now, I highlight these 4 characteristics of healthy and vibrant communities because it matters right now how we engage with each and every group that we are in. Each community that we are in should be talking about strategies for strength building, for the diversification of ways to be included, to sustain momentum, and for ways to be resilient in the face of obstacles. Each community, just like at this church. We are a hub of community life where we come to have our spirits nourished, where we nourish the spirits of others. We are generous with our time, with our talent, and with our treasures, because we know that a time will come when others will take care of us. We cultivate a culture of spirit and a culture of hope. And now is a time when we desperately need hope. After this next piece of music, you will hear from our board leadership, George Scheer, Kim Hayden, and Lynn Miyamoto. They will each talk about a specific piece of our church financial picture. Since we are in a shared leadership model, each of us holds the key to maintaining and to building a strong community of generosity and of hope.
Prier pour paix means prayer for peace. This song is a fervent prayer asking for peace, for wars to cease, that we pray ceaselessly for this, and that peace is the true treasure of our lives.
Priez pour paix, douce Vierge Marie, Reine des cieux et du monde, maîtresse, faites prier par votre courtoisie, sainte et sainte, et prenez votre adresse vers votre ville que la saintesse, qui lui plaise son peuple regarder, que de son sang à vous le racheter, et de bout en guerre, que tous des voix dépriées ne vous voyez lasser. Priez pour paix, priez pour paix, le trésor de joie.
So last week, Reverend Omega asked me to say a few words about the church's operating budget. And at that point, I probably looked like a deer in the headlights because, frankly, budgets and finance are boring. I mean, how many of you get up in the morning and think, oh, great, today's the day I get to balance my checkbook? If there's anybody if that description fits anyone, you may have a role in the future, on the board in the future. But here's the thing, budgets are not really about arithmetic and money. Every budget is a moral statement of priorities. Doesn't matter if it's a budget created by a family, a church, a city, or a nation. It tells us with mathematical precision what areas, issues, or people are most important to the creators of the budget and which are least important. So when we talk about church finances, about the operating budget, what we're really talking about is our values, about what is most important to us. Our operating budget is a tool that we use to enable and support things like lifespan faith engagement, For us old people, that means Sunday school for the children, but it also means chalice circles and other activities. It's how we support the church's social justice outreach. It's how we support pastoral care, the things that we do to care for the sick in our community and provide comfort for the bereaved through memorial services. It's how we maintain an active and amazing and uplifting music program. It's how we support our minister, her trips to, for example, her trip to Minneapolis to protest, how we support her wonderful sermons. And as an aside, I have to say, ministry may be a calling, but even ministers have to eat. And then finally, we have other staff. They're not maybe out front as much as the minister, but other staff that help us take care of our finances, do tech support on Sundays, and provide us with a clean, smoothly functioning campus that enables us to do all of these other things that our community does. These are all part of our effort to create a community based on love, spirit, and service, not on money, not on profit. And these are just a few highlights. I'll apologize if I've only mentioned some and omitted others, but time is limited. So now we have to get the boring stuff out of the way. The church's operating budget is pretty much the same as our household budgets. We even have a checking account. And the church has bills to pay, which it pays out of the checking account. These bills include facility-related expenses like gas, electric, water, insurance, and staff salaries, all the staff that make things happen here at the church. Our income really comes from two sources. About half of it comes from donations and pledges of our members. Some of us may pay once a year in a lump sum, others may make their pledges on a monthly basis. But it all goes into the checking account and helps pay for everything you see around you. Secondly, about half of our income is from rentals, the largest of which is the Sequoia School. So when you hear that a donation or pledge goes, quote, toward the operating budget, unquote, that means that it is put into our checking account and used to pay our monthly bills and other financial obligations that makes our community possible. But then that begs the question, where does the budget plan come from? Every year, the church staff and the board develop a budget plan for the following year. This process usually starts in January, so it is already underway. After the executive director puts together a proposed budget, it's reviewed by the minister, the treasurer, the finance committee, and finally the board of trustees. And of course, we're looking not only to make sure that the budget closes financially, but also that it indeed supports our values. And then finally, the result of all that is that the budget is presented to the congregation in advance of our annual meeting for the congregation to vote on. A crucial part of this process is our annual pledge drive. We know in advance how much money we will be getting from our rentals, so your pledges are really the church's best opportunity to grow and expand and do more. If pledges go up, we're able to do more and provide more support to our community and outside of our community. But if pledges go down, some of our beloved activities may have to be curtailed, and I may say, I don't think this is a time when we want to shrink. I think this is a time when our efforts need to be expanding. So as treasurer, I encourage everyone to review your pledges. Think seriously about your commitment to our community and whether or not you can increase your donation. If you aren't pledging, well, why not make a concrete commitment to the church, at least in some amount? If you are pledging, maybe it's time to think about what that pledge means to you, about what our community means to you, and whether or not it makes sense to increase your pledge for the next year. And now Lynn Miyamoto is going to talk a little bit, I think, about some of our longer-term financial planning.
Good morning, everyone. Our congregation exists to build an inclusive community, a community shaped by love, spirit, and service. To sustain that beautiful community we all cherish, I ask each of you to share in whatever measure you can your time, your talent, your spirit, and your treasure. But I want to be transparent about our finances and our long-term plans. Many have asked about how our endowment can be used during this time. Endowments are long-term stability tools, not a reliable source for regular operating expenses. As such, we need to plan operating budgets around predictable revenue and treat endowment payments as supplemental or restricted support. At our current size, the customary endowment payment rate, which is usually about 3 to 5%, does not produce enough annual income to cover our operating expenses and costs as maybe a large institution's endowment can. That means an endowment by itself isn't a replacement for ongoing giving. Instead, it functions best as a long-term supplement, a steady foundation that supports our work, alongside regular donation, fundraising efforts, earned income from rental and investments, and prudent stewardship of our reserves. So while we continue to grow our endowment, we are also pursuing multiple strategies to sustain the life of this congregation: annual pledging campaigns, thoughtful stewardship, responsible spending, and contingency planning. All these efforts together allow us to meet today's needs and to pass on a healthy, faithful community to future generations. So last week, in our third Sunday theology time, we spoke about a simple but profound practice: share the plate. Our share the plate is not part of our pledging to the church and is not part of the stewardship of the church. However, it is an expression of our commitment to social justice. Although the share the plate does not help with our own operating expenses, when we share the plate with neighbors beyond these walls, we do more than write a check. We practice love, solidarity, and justice. We reach out to those called in to be in relationship with us. When we give, when we listen to other stories, when we walk alongside other organizations, we learn to see the world differently. We notice need. We honor dignity. We recommit ourselves to repairing what is broken. Share the plate is not merely a charitable checkbox. It is a spiritual formation. It softens our hearts, expands our imagination, and teaches us how to love more fully. Friends, sustaining this community is a shared responsibility. Your gifts of presence, of voice, of resources shape who we are and who will we become. Let us give generously, wisely, and with open hearts, so love, spirit, and service continue to guide our lives together. And now to talk about stewardship is our President, Kim Hayden.
Thank you to Lynn. Thank you to George. Okay, before I share my part, I feel drawn to offer a confession to you all, a confession that was prompted by Elle's ice cream story. So there's an infamous story in my family that gets told that I'm not happy about, but it's a story about 4-year-old Kim that got sent to the ice cream van to buy 2 ice creams for me and a friend. And the story goes, apparently, that I made my way back to my mom with 1 ice cream and 1 cone. And I said to the friend, "Yours fell." I hope perhaps that was the beginning of leaning into moral decisions that were a little bit better at that point. Okay. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about the term stewardship and what it means. So you hear that term moved around a lot. So I joined the church back in the 1900s, as our teenager would like to say to me. In 1999, when I joined, I had no concept of church finances. Like many of us, I didn't grow up in a church-going family. And a fun fact, I actually landed at Neighborhood by accident. So I had a beloved grandmother-in-law who was very active at Second Congregation in Newton, Massachusetts, which was a UCC church. So when I decided to go church shopping, I landed at a UU church because I got the acronym wrong. Fate or accident, I'm not sure, but I am sure I landed exactly where I'm supposed to be. So for the first 8 years of membership, I dutifully made my pledge, as I was instructed to do so, and it was not, and still is not, an earth-shattering amount, but I understood that it needed to be an amount that was something I had to budget for, something I felt good about and I knew would make a difference. In 2007, I joined the church staff, and my understanding of church finances greatly expanded. But it wasn't the work on budgets or pledge drives that did that. It was at the time the most illustrious church group, the Newsletter Committee. So back then, our newsletter was written, printed, folded, and mailed. It was organized by Irene Berkner, and the group of mostly retired, mostly women that gathered each month were engaged, connected, and formidable. If you wanted to know what was going on at Neighborhood Church, you sat in on this group, if they allowed you to do so. So as I joined them a little bit, I learned about each of their commitments to ensuring the long-term sustainability of Neighborhood. How important it was for them to continue to support their programming, such as religious education, or lifespan, faith engagement now as we call it, because of how it benefited their families and the community. The importance of paying it forward. And that's what stewardship is. It's creating a culture of generosity. While fundraising refers to money-raising efforts, stewardship is about our attitudes towards sustainability. It's changing our congregation's focus on money and fundraising to stewardship and generosity. All the ways we share our time, talent, and treasure, such as the annual pledge drive, fundraising events like today's Dining for Dollars, and social gatherings like the upcoming pledge dinner. Those are all elements of stewardship. Stewardship is our year-round work and culture to ensuring Neighborhood both serves who is here now and who is coming tomorrow. So while the newsletter crew is a thing of the past, and all those women have passed, their impact continues. That impact was about the culture of generosity, and that is stewardship. Now, before we transition to our closing hymn, I just want to pause and acknowledge deep gratitude to Reverend Omega for her public witness in Minneapolis, to Mimi for holding us together in this unusual Sunday without our leader, and to Ginger for pitch hitting and reading today. Thank you. Those are big shoes to fill. Thank you so much.
Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our closing hymn, number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the wilds of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Leave this place with hope rekindled, not as wishful thinking, but as a stubborn practice. In a world drenched with despair, choose joy, choose action, choose to believe that another way is possible, and live as if it is already breaking through. Amen.